Good day, everybody. Now, I recently saw a video that sparked interest in something that I heard Trump say a long time ago that hasn't been touched on very much since. So I thought I'd go look through and see if anyone had any kind of updates or any kind of insight. And I found two great people to give their own personal insight on Trump's claim of no income tax. These are two very intelligent men. Let's hear what they have to say about the subject.
Well, Trump was talking about eliminating the income tax, and I just wanted to know how that's going to affect the tax law and how it would affect people who are in jobs like mine.
So it's going to be one of the most ambitious things that Donald Trump's taken on, and I think it's obviously going to require Congress to achieve.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a great step. He got my attention when he said that, right? Keep in mind, for most of our national history, we didn't have an income tax. The income tax is actually a relatively recent invention, and the longer this government exists, the more of these inventions you get. So here's actually a sequence of events in history. First of all, we get the income tax right at the turn of the 19th century into the 20th century. After that, you see Woodrow Wilson becomes the president. You see the overgrowth of the administrative state. Then you get FDR, the entitlement state. Then you get LBJ, combining both of those into this cancer we live in today. The income tax came first.
Yeah.
So if you feed the beast is going to find new things to do that it shouldn't have done in the first place. So part of eliminating the income tax is not just giving Americans the chance to live the American dream. And actually, this one's personal to me, right? Because it's like a treadmill. My parents, they came from nothing. They came to this country with no pennies. I found in multi-billion-dollar companies to be a self-made billionaire before I'm 40. But one of the things that makes that a lot slower is that 40% of it or 35% of it goes out the door every time. It demotivates a lot of people from working.
Yeah.
It's not just that, though. It's even worse than that, is that it actually feeds the regulatory state. The deep state is funded by the existence of those taxes flowing in. So part of you want to kill that beast, you got to starve that beast too. So for two reasons, I think it's a great policy he started to talk about. It's not been a core focus of this presidential election. Let him do the first thing he needs to do in the first year, fire 75% of those federal bureaucrats, send them packing. That's how you drain the swamp. And then you get to the second step of saying we're not going to feed that beast to recreate itself. And believe me, I'm in favor of that. So Thank you, brother.
Thank you so
I appreciate
much.
it.
Isn't that interesting? How many people genuinely knew that we didn't always have the income tax, and it was something that started probably, 100 years ago? I just want you to think about it like now. If, let's just say, everyone's take-home pay was their actual take-home pay, and the government just came along and said, hey, you know what, guys? We're going to start taxing your take-home pay. The American people would flip.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down!
You thought the George Floyd riots were bad. Just wait. This would be we the people riots. All hell would break loose. I think by him cleaning up the swamp, so to speak, as Vivek said, it might make it a little bit easier to kind of work through some of this stuff, but of course we do have the people in the Senate and the House that might make things a little bit difficult. Of course they're against, the United States people having money, but Vivek's a smart guy. He's no idiot. So if he thinks it's possible and just didn't flat out dismiss it, who knows? I mean, let's have some hope, people. Would you like some more money in your pocket? For me, you can bet your ass I do. Now let's hear from our other contender, and now he's a little bit more on the negative side, but let's just hear what he has to say.
The 0% income tax has been thrown around recently. Do you think that's even possible?
I think very, very implausible. I mean, dream of dreams, hope of hopes. I mean, like when Trump was talking about his 20% tariff plan or 10% tariff plan, but then when he's like, instead of the income tax,
but now why even throw some of these things out there? Because it seems like a lot of politicians are throwing out these wild pipe dreams.
It's a moonshot.
And they're just saying whatever. How ridiculous
again, I
it
think
is.
that's a great way to please everybody, right? You're saying, I'm going to throw out tariff plans, and that's going to bring manufacturing jobs back to the bereft Midwest, the Rust Belt. And then he's like, okay, but that also is going to increase prices by 20. What if I said instead of the income tax? And it's like, okay, well, then I can have all the things. Like, again, the truth is that is, and there's solid precedent for that in American history. Before the income tax, that is actually how the federal government generated its income, was tariffing imported goods, and then there was no income tax. I'd venture to say that was probably a better system.
And here we even have Ben kind of acknowledging the same thing. He kind of says it's actually better if it's structured the right way. So now we got two intelligent people talking about it as if it's good. Now the plausibility of that getting done is something entirely different. And that comes from, the people within our own government. Like I said earlier, if Trump can get rid of the bad actors and we can start implementing people that really want to lift up the American people, I think it's quite possible.
Tariffs plus a gigantic income tax, a pretty terrible economic system, actually. But yes, I mean, everyone throws out these plans. None of them will ever come to fruition. Similarly, Kamala Harris suggesting that she's going to tax unrealized capital gains is psychotic. Maybe it sounds good to her sort of Bernie Sanders, Thomas Piketty base.
I don't think it sounded good to a lot of people.
No, that was actually the worst thing she could have ever said.
Well, anybody who has any basic knowledge of how businesses run,
Valuations,
understands like that's it's psychotic. I mean, it's not like when I say full scale asylum level psychotic to suggest that as a serious.
So this is purely people throwing out random things just
It's
to
a campaign.
appeal to
People
people.
just say shit,
Right,
man.
'cause-
Yes, I know they tend to say things just to make everyone like them, say cool things that people would be, oh yeah, that's awesome. But this is slightly different than like universal health care or, paying off student loan debt, right? Those are different and taking, like where's the money coming from? This is different in a sense that the government is taking money from you, us, the people, from us working, right? This is different than just the government just paying for random stuff for us, right? Because we're the ones who fund them. They don't fund us. Is the reason why we don't pass it is because we can't, or is it because the people in charge don't want to? Because without taxing our income, the federal government will lose some of that money for them to blow it on, I don't know, maybe Ukraine, maybe other bull that they love spending money on. You guys saw that video I put up about programs the Biden administration paid for in 2023? If not, go check it out. Smart toilets, guys. Now, honestly, do you think Donald Trump will get this done in his term? Probably not, but I think he could really lay the foundation, and I think it's something we probably shouldn't just cast aside as never happening because, guys, that would help us. I think it really would. But anyhow, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for your favorite churro on YouTube. See you guys on the next one.